let's review how to bench press. So utilizing dumbbells from the floor, dumbbells from a bench, or your traditional barbell bench press, we can simplify it into 3 key concepts we have here on the board. Concept number 1 is we want to root the feet down into the ground, thus creating what is called leg drive. What that does, by pressing your feet down to the ground, that creates tension in your hips. You can utilize that leg drive into the ground to stabilize the lower body and the trunk and the core, so that all that's moving when you're bench pressing is your arms. You have a nice stable foundation to press upon. Point number 2, or concept number 2, is during the descent, the lowering of the weight from the top to your chest, so the bottom, you want to think about actively pulling the weight down toward your body. That will utilize your shoulder blades, your shoulder muscles, and your upper back muscles in such a way that helps to stabilize and create good positioning when you're bench pressing. The opposite holds true for point or concept number 3. During the ascent, so going from the bottom or your chest all the way back up to the top, you want to think about pushing your body away from the weights and down into the floor or the bench. So again, points 2 and 3 are directly opposing, and that's intentional. What that does, it keeps tension and stability in the upper body, while point number 1 is keeping tension and stability in the lower body. That's what we want to have happen during a bench press. Let's start with the floor press. So you can start with the traditional dumbbell floor press, shortened range of motion, a little bit more shoulder friendly for some folks because of the shorter range of motion that the shoulders have to travel. Okay? Think about having your elbows or your arms kind of similar to the airplanes on an aircraft, like you would have in a push-up. So your elbows should be at roughly a 45-degree angle, like so. Okay? Similar to how like you'd have it in a push-up. Okay? Sure, you could go into what's called a neutral grip position if you'd like to make it more shoulder friendly. Okay? We want to avoid this cranking out to the side of the weights. That won't feel too great for the shoulders. Again, so this 45-degree angle, like the wings on an aircraft, is what we're aiming for. Okay? So I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to put the dumbbells onto the thighs, help to bring myself back. I'm at this 45-degree angle. I'm going to drive my feet down through the floor, so leg drive, rooting the feet into the floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the top position. I'm going to think about pulling the weights down to me during the descent, and during going back up, the ascent, I'm going to push my body away from the floor into the ground. Now what we'll do is we'll switch it to the bench positioning now. So we'll bring the bench into the mix. And again, the same things apply, but we have a couple of additional concepts to review because now we're elevating the legs off the floor. So we'll center this, get it out of the way just a touch. Okay. So what we want to talk about here is what's called the heels up club. In the powerlifting world, you'll note that some lifters, when they bench press, their heels will pop off of the floor. They're still utilizing concept number 1, rooting the feet, leg drive, by pressing the midfoot and mostly the toes down into the ground to help stabilize and tension the hips. So whether you're a fan of the heels up club or the foot flat club, doesn't really matter to me. What I care most about, though, is that you are creating tension via driving the feet down into the ground or leg drive. That's the most important piece. So setting ourselves up here. Same rules, bring it back with my legs. I'm going to drive the feet down. You'll note I use a little bit of the heels up club mentality. I'm kind of in the middle. All right, so from here, 45-degree angle. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to pull the weights down. I'm going to push my body away while keeping those feet into the ground, that leg drive. My hips are nice and tight, stable base to press from. Okay? When I'm done, let's move on and let's review the barbell bench press. I'm gonna back this up a touch. So from here, you'll note things change a little bit. I no longer have free weights, I have a stable bar to utilize. These concepts will make a bit more sense now because I have something to actively pull and push into, okay? With both arms equally, okay? Same rules apply, guys. Root the feet, leg drive. I'm gonna pull the weight or the bar into my body. I'm gonna push my body away from the bar, okay? You want to line up the bar specifically in this position where the bar is directly above my eyes. That's a good starting position here, okay? Hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. You're going to set yourself up, pause for a moment to create tension. I'm going to pull the weight to me. I'm going to push my body away. I'm going to pull the weight to me. I'm going to push my body away. And that is how to bench press.